I'm doing another Q&A video, and the next question that I am tackling is one of my clients said something like, help, I need a lower back loosener. And I wanted to answer this question because I'm going to be facetious, which is my favourite thing, but secondly, I probably can actually offer a little bit of advice. So the facetious answer to giving you a lower back loosener, a lower back stretch, is that there is no universal lower back loosener or stretch. There is nothing that can work across the board for every single person in the world, because people will have lower back pain, think of it as compensation, for a whole variety of reasons. So you might have lower back pain because your thoracic spine cannot extend. You might have lower back pain because you can't open up your shoulders. You might have lower back pain because your pelvis can't move forwards and backwards. You might have lower back pain because your lower back is stuck in extension, but you could also have lower back pain because your lower back is stuck in flexion. You might have lower back pain because your hips can't flex, but you could also have lower back pain because your hips can't extend, abduct, adduct, externally rotate, internally rotate. You might have lower back pain because you wear heels every day. You might not think you wear heels, but any shoe that is slightly higher at the back than it is at the front is a heel, aka most trainers are heels. Those will disrupt the biomechanics of the leg, and it puts often the pressure into the lower back. So my facetious answer is that there is absolutely no universal lower back loosener or stretch, because the reason that you have that tightness and pain in your lower back will vary enormously, okay? So what will feel amazing for one person will feel absolutely the polar opposite of what we want for another person. If someone has got lower back pain because their hips cannot flex, the person who has lower back pain because their hips can't extend, it's the opposite end of the spectrum. So how can you give that person the same exercise? And this is why and how we have to come away from looking at the symptom. The lower back pain is the symptom. The lower back tightness is the symptom. Stop focusing on the lower back. Start looking at what parts of your body do not move in the way that they should do. Look for dysfunction. Stop focusing on the pain. Facetious answer, but I love it because that literally applies for anything. Shoulder pain, ankle pain, hip pain, neck pain, all of it. The same answer applies. Different things will cause pain in the same place, and it might present itself in exactly the same way to this person versus that person, but the reason behind it is different. But saying that, for most people, you will probably find something like, if you're having a kind of back spasm or your back is locked up, you will find probably one of two things quite helpful. Have to caveat, I haven't assessed you. There are a million different reasons why your back might hurt, and a video that you're watching isn't gonna tell you that necessarily. But there are kind of 3 exercises that I would say, give this a try. And depending on how your body reacts and feels to it, it will give you a good indication as to what is causing your lower back pain. So I'm just going to come closer to the camera because I haven't got my equipment out, but we will try a few things. So lower back loosener idea, I'm not telling you this for sure because I don't know what's going on in your body. Lower back loosener idea number 1 is modified floor block. I'm not going to run through each of these exercises in a great amount of detail, but if you have a look at my YouTube, you'll see that there is a video called Modified Floor Block, which requires you to have 2 yoga blocks or similar, and you're going to lay face down. Doesn't matter that you can't see it, watch the video. I'm not walking you through this because I will definitely overrun on my planned amount of time. Head on the floor, and your arms are in like a cactus position on the blocks, and you would just relax here for like 10 minutes. If being in that position makes your lower back feel better and relax off, it tells you that your body wants more thoracic extension. So by having your hands in that position, it's extending your thoracic spine. So if it feels better for you in your lower back in that position, your body needs more thoracic extension and or hip extension, because your hips are in extension as well when you're doing that, and or supination and plantar flexion of the feet, which can also be a thing that would impact lower back pain. So by getting yourself in that position, it will teach you something about what your body wants more or less of. If you feel rubbish in that position and your lower back pain feels worse, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is wrong, but it means that the position is too strong for you. So your body is so unable to extend your thoracic spine, extend your hips, or put your feet in the position that it needs to be in, that the lower back is still compensating, it's not able to let go. But for some people, that can feel amazing in their lower back. The other position that can feel really, really good for people with lower back pain is, I mean, there's hundreds of things that will feel good. Like there are loads of things, but I am just kind of running off a few quickly here, is to get something like a sofa or a bed or something like that where you have your legs up over the thing, and this is static back. So if you want to have a look on my YouTube at static back, that might well help you. Palms facing up, everything relaxes and switches off. We focus on breathing nice and deeply, and what this is doing is creating balance at the pelvis. So if there is any pelvic disparity or rotation through the rib cage, it's helping to reduce that rotation. The lower back and the pelvis can kind of relax and sink down, and the thoracic spine also has to extend to kind of drop down to the floor. So there's a few things that by doing this, if your body feels good during it, it kind of teaches you more about what your body wants. That's another thing that you can try. Static back, again, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, however long, as feels good for you to do. You will know if it feels wrong because within a couple of minutes, your body's going to start like tensing up with compensation. Your neck might hurt, you might get a headache, something else might hurt. If you're super posterior, static back is probably not the one for you because it's going to put too much weight on your coccyx. So if you notice that you've got like loads of pressure in your lower back and coccyx, not the position for you, but maybe the one before might feel better. But that's something else to try. And then the third thing that I would suggest is, I haven't really got a way of setting it up here just because my slant board is downstairs, but is something like wall drop. So again, on my YouTube, wall drop. It's a kind of slant board thing that stretches your calves and you stand back against a wall waiting for your feet to create change through the rest of your body. So if your feet are your dysfunction, or your ankles and your calves and the lack of movement there is your dysfunction, by being on that wall drop or the slant board, it starts to loosen and change things at the foot and at the ankle, and then this feeds up the body to the hips, the pelvis, the lower back, and it can feel really, really good for you on your lower back. Again, a little bit like the modified floor block that I mentioned at the beginning, if your feet are super, super, super tight, you might actually feel worse in your lower back, but it doesn't mean that on paper that's not the right exercise for you to do, but it means that your body is too dysfunctional to be able to do wall drop, getting the outcome in the way that we want to. So you might have to do something else first to mobilize and loosen up the foot before the lower back can accept that kind of change in a good way. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I've given you 3 ideas. Look at them on my YouTube. Probably one of them will help you. Modified floor block, static back, or wall drop. And depending on what does help you, it'll tell you something different about your body. But my facetious answer is there is no such thing as a lower back loosener on a universal level that I can say in a video, because every single person has lower back tightness for different reasons. So stop focusing on the symptom, focus on function. What parts of your body do not move well? The more that you get those bits of your body moving, the less other bits will have to compensate.